Dominick Cruz criticizes Henry Cejudo for pulling out of the fight against Chito Vera and then calling out Petr Yan. On the Shav show, Dom said, "I would say everything made sense about that except that Henry said, yeah, but I'd like Petr Yan or so-and-so after." He had that whole statement about this and that, but then you give us two opponents that are ranked higher than Vera, which tells me that you didn't want somebody ranked where Vera was at. That's where he tells his truth, is the thing. It's like my shoulder hurts too much for Vera, but if we can get Aljamain Sterling or Petr Yan, my shoulder doesn't hurt as bad. We can make this work. I can make this work. The way I see Henry is, some fights are worth it for his shoulder and some aren't. So how do you decide that? How do you decide who's good enough for you and who isn't? Well, it's up to the UFC to make those choices. I got the same fight offer he did, and I took the Casey Kenny fight earlier than that, and then I took the Pedro Munoz fight earlier than that. Both on the undercards, by the way. Not on the main card that they're trying to put him on. Then I take the fight with Vera. Look, we can't even get this guy to take one. He's been out this whole time. He gets a title shot, and now then after that, after the title shot, they didn't drop him to the bottom of the line. On the new episode of The Ultimate Fighter, Conor McGregor dropped one of his guys during sparring with a body shot. Since the clip aired, Michael Chandler has been relentlessly trolling Conor via Instagram once again. He wrote, "I too was dropping my guys." He followed up with this photo. He wrote, "Ankle pick was a bad choice." He ended it off with this. It says, "When your team is down 0-7. Chandler wrote, "Small hand." Then Chandler reposted this to his Instagram. It's of Conor asking Dana what happens if it's a clean sweep and he loses every fight. In the caption, Chandler wrote, "You know you're in a bad spot when you're asking what happens if you get swept." Then Chandler reposted this. In the caption, he wrote in quotes, "Hoping to secure their first win. Narrator guy. Can you please say it louder for the people in the back? Remind them who Team Chandler is." Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch on the Timbo Sugar Show reveal they ran into Chito Vera over the weekend.
But then they moved us to Gordon Ryan's seats.
No, those were our seats the whole time, but we weren't there yet. So they gave Gordon and his girl those seats, and then we got there, and then they had to move. And then it was a show.
We had to awkwardly walk by Chito, and it was like he's sitting there just like, I was like, what the is he gonna? If he punches me, it's like he's sitting down. That's not a good spot to punch.
I didn't think it was that awkward.
He was sitting there. Did you see his face? Did you look at his face?
Well, the thing is like when it's awkward when you beat somebody, so it's like he's probably felt very, insecure. Yeah. I already beat him once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And his coach, Jason Perillo, I've always been a fan.
He was actually nice after. The first time I was like, he'd mean mugging me, like he was like
gonna do something.
Yeah, like, but then after like we were walking by and he was talking, it was really nice. But
yeah, he seemed.
I think it's like awkward. I didn't feel awkward walking past Chito though.
And then he walked by me again, Chito, and I was standing up, and it was like we're in the same row, so you got to walk right in front of each other.
He wouldn't move his legs at first, and I kind of stood. I'm like, just move here. What are you gonna? What are we doing here? I'm trying to walk past you.
But then he walked past me, and I'm standing up, and we're literally like this, face to face. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I'm like. And then he put out his hand to shake my hand. So I was like, what the dude? I'm bigger.
Nice kid.
I know, it's weird because in a different world, literally we'd be friends with all these guys.
Yeah,
they're into mixed martial arts. They're into healthy. They're into all the same as us.
Yeah.
When have we rolled into a room and we're like, oh, I'm not friends with that guy's a couple people randomly. But most people, it's like, nah, we're going to be boys.
Dana White gave Kyle from Nelk another big chunk of cash for his birthday.
Oh, hold on. Still nervous? Happy birthday. All right. Wow. You're going to do that, man. No, you're good, man. I appreciate you. Love you, kid. Love you. Happy birthday.
Kamaru Usman has no interest in a fight against Shavkat Rakhmonov. Kamaru says if it's not for the belt, what's the point? During a fan Q&A, Usman said, yeah, it's a fight I would take for the title. I mean, that's the thing. At the end of the day, every man wants to be the champion. When you get to the top of this sport, you want to be a champion. So who am I to deny him when I'm the champion? Deny him his shot at the championship? I'm not. But if it's not for the championship and we happen to train with the exact same coach, like, why? What's the point? Henry Cejudo breaks down why he believes Alexander Volkanovski has still not passed Jose Aldo as the GOAT of the featherweight division. On his YouTube channel, Henry said, if I was in Volkanovski's shoes, I would fight Islam. You have 6 title defenses now. You're 2 away from beating Jose Aldo for the most title defenses in featherweight history. But you go up a weight class, win the lightweight title, that puts you in a different category. As of right now, just based off of the numbers, Jose Aldo is still the best featherweight of all time. Just based off numbers. I'm not saying the best ever featherweight, but through facts and through numbers, it's still Jose Aldo. You forget the special things that Jose Aldo did and the wrestlers he has beaten. Numbers do not lie. So Sean Strickland allegedly got into a verbal altercation with Kevin Lee's little brother Keith Lee. As you guys know, Keith Lee is actually more famous than Kevin and is super well known for his food reviews on TikTok. Keith also used to fight for Bellator. Now I have to bleep out a lot of words here from Sean so YouTube doesn't get mad at us. On the Man Dance podcast, Sean said I can't stand his little brother, Keith Lee. So wait, let me give you guys, if you guys don't know who this guy is, it saddens me that I know who Keith Lee is. Apparently he's like a TikToker. He's a food critic. Motherfucker probably makes more money than me pandering these assholes. So anyway, let me tell you, I just gotta go on this story about how much I hate Kevin Lee's fucking brother. Back to my story about his piece of brother. So he comes up to me and he was like, pretty much like he tried to talk to me about like race. He tried to have this racial systematic oppression shit. Again, like I don't disagree, man. Like when you're only removed from for like 100+ years, that's a hard hole to climb out of. I don't disagree with that, but I'm not trying to have this debate in the gym. I'm trying to spar. So he comes up to me and starts accusing me of like being I'm like, what are we doing here, dude? Like if I was I'm the most honest motherfucker here. So he comes up to me, and anytime you're talking to somebody, and I know this because I used to be a little, anytime you're talking to somebody and you want to like really piss them off, you just have to talk about the sex of whatever race they are. So I'm like, yo, Lee, I'm not I more black women than you have, bro. How am I? I said that just to piss him off. I said that just to make him mad. I'm like, bro, just relax. I know you got a little white woman at home. Chill the out. I'm just like kind of poking at him, but I'm doing it funny. He goes, nah, that. I don't like white people. Mind you, Chris Curtis is sitting right next to me. Jason Manley, another black guy, is sitting right next to me. They just sit there silent as this motherfucker is telling his dislike for white people. Now, for the record, if you go and watch the podcast, after Sean said this, Chris Curtis did not confirm that this story was true. Curtis seemed like he really didn't even want to talk about this entire situation. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Sean Strickland and Ian Gary had words on social media. Strickland tweeted, watching Ian Gary giggle like a little girl, wearing Jeff Neal's mugshot, the weakest call out ever. Not even funny. Neal, you shouldn't fight that dork, but definitely smack him upside the head when you see him. Buckley versus Gary. I'd way rather watch that fight. Ian replied, the fact that you didn't know this was an already booked fight is exactly why I'm wearing the tee. We're promoting a fight you hadn't heard about until you saw my image. Half of Jeff's fans had no idea about the fight until this image either. You're both welcome. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to Jake Paul being aggravated with Nate Diaz for Nate's lack of promotion for their fight. The first one's from Lil Mace Money. It says Nate not promoting at all and just being himself. The second one says Jake really thought Nate gave a about the fight. All he wanted was a fat check and somewhere to put his teammate on a fight card. And the final one says winning over Pereira made Izzy into an ego monster. He was always that guy, but now he has become the worst version of himself. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.